Well, it's been a long time since I've done an update on my Cummins engine, and so far it's, well, to this Christmas it's been a 2-year project. Been a long time. And did some things and did a whole lot of reading and figuring it out what I want to do. And as you can see, there's something up here that isn't normal to your typical truck 12 valve. And this is what we've got going on. I put an aftercooler on it. So normally if you've got an intercooled engine, you've got from your charge pipe of the turbo, it's going to go down to your big old radiator, much like you would see here, right there. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep this as clean and neat as possible. So what I did is I got the Cummins. It's a cheap Chinese off of eBay, but for like $300 or so, and because I think Cummins wants like $1,000 for this aftercooler, and that's just out of the question. Just can't spend that much money. I'd love to buy the original, but that's not going to happen. I don't know, maybe that'll help if you got questions. No, that's just, is that date of manufacture? Maybe, I don't know. I'll put part numbers in the description. So if there's part numbers here, just go ahead and look at the description. If it's not there, go ahead and comment. Maybe I can help you out. But just so, if you're not aware, they didn't put this aftercooler. Well, before I go to that, why aftercooler? I wanted to make this clean. I didn't want a big old fat radiator up in the front. I wanted to make this clean and different. And so what this is going to do is I'm going to be able to hook up water hoses to this and go to a heat exchange off to the side somewhere. And then I can have a little radiator with a little 12-inch fan or something like that. And so then what that does is this circulates water, and if you look inside here, there's a little radiator. So this whole thing is a radiator through here. And so I'm going to go directly from the turbo. Let me put this on here. And so the idea is that I'm going to be putting my charge directly into this aftercooler, and that's going to go into the intake plenum. So that's going to allow me to have a more direct charge with cooling down my intake temperatures. So what I did is I bought some stuff off of silicone intakes. So then I have my piece to go to my turbo, and I think there's a video on here of what I did to my turbo. It's my turbo is a W, so wastegated H1CW, whatever way that goes. So I've got a wastegate in here. That little flap, yeah, I do have a video of that on there. I did some tuning on it, adjusting when that wastegate's going to open. So look in my project playlist on that if you're interested. And then this is a Turbo Labs kit that takes it from 54 to 62 millimeter compressor wheel, and then I had this powder coated to look good. And so what I did is silicone intakes, they've got a bunch of different stuff on there. Initially I thought I was going to go with their little intercooler that sits on the side, so then I would drop this directly down, have a little water air intercooler, and then pop it right back up into the intake plenum. But then my buddy was like, put one of those on there. I like that idea. So I start looking, and the only issue is, and I love the idea, but there was an issue. The injector lines. The old injector lines go through where this is. So it goes through each valve cover to the injectors. Well, that's a problem. You can't exactly put that. So I've searched and searched. It took me hours. So you're welcome if you're deciding to do this on your truck. I'm going to put part numbers for these injector lines. I bought them directly from Cummins. They sent me back about $500-$600. They're not cheap, but that's a whole lot better than making your own that don't fit. So Cummins, as far as I know, they only made one engine serial number with the VE pump and the aftercooler. And that was real tricky to find that engine serial number. Once I found that, then I was able to go on Cummins' website and buy injector lines for that. So if you're interested in a VE pump with an aftercooler, here's your go-to. You're welcome, because I spent hours figuring this out. And so it was just a pain. So what I ended up doing, so I think this is a 2-inch pipe, I think. I could be wrong. Anyways, that's going directly from silicone intakes. I bought their piece to go to the turbo here. Sorry, I'm really around about in this video, so I hope this is all making sense. So I bought this to go to the turbo, the clamp, and then this is I bought a piece of 45. I bought 2 pieces of 45 to do what I wanted to do. And so then here's 145. I cut it to fit here. I had my buddy weld this because I wanted it to look good, and I'm not a good aluminum TIG welder. And then I used the other 45 because this has a slight angle to it. So, and then I made this plate, and then I had him weld it. Now the problem with having him weld it is this whole thing really warped. So then I had to. It's not the best, but it'll work. I put it in the mill and took my end mill and just kind of went on the side. So it's a little shattered, not quite matching up here. But once we make a gasket for this, that's going to work just fine. And so then I took this pipe and I bent it a little bit to make it kind of an oval, as you can see. And then I kind of did a little bit of port matching to make it fit where it goes in here. That's where you can see all of this, just to kind of help with the flow a little bit. And you know what? If we're going to do it, we might as well overdo it. So that's kind of what I've got going on here on the aftercooler. And yeah, I'm going to make sure I put these injector lines in here for you if you're interested in doing that. That was the trickiest part, finding those injector lines. And then, yeah, making all of this. So that just took some time. And that's the beautiful thing about this engine. I've got time. And little sneak peek on what's coming up. ZF6 plate. And we're going to be putting a 6-speed manual on this bad boy. So, yeah, that's where I'm at so far. So this is just project update on my engine, as well as if you need a VE pump and an aftercooler. Hope that was helpful. I sure wish I could find someone who had a video like this on YouTube. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.